Hello friends, I'm Sonia and my topic of the presentation is discriminant analysis. I will discuss these contents in my presentation. First one is the concept of discriminant analysis, then objective of discriminant analysis, then methods of discriminant analysis, then steps used in discriminant analysis, then the assumptions of discriminant analysis, then uses of discriminant analysis, and finally the discriminant analysis versus regression analysis. So first we discuss about discriminant analysis. What is discriminant analysis? Discriminant analysis is a statistical technique used to classify observations into non-overlapping groups based on the scores on one or more quantitative predictors variable. It is used to determine which continuous variable discriminate between two or more naturally occurring groups. Like for example, a researcher may want to investigate which variable discriminate between fruits eaten by primates, birds or squirrels. So let us take another example. Like a doctor could perform a discriminant analysis to identify patients at high or low risk for strokes. The analysis might classify patients into high or low risk groups based on personal attributes, for example cholesterol level, body mass, etc., or also on the basis of lifestyle behavior. The objective of discriminant analysis is to understand the group differences and to predict the likelihood that a particular identity will belong to a particular group or class based on the independent variable. It study the relation between group membership and variables used to predict the group membership. The methods of discriminant analysis may be of two types. First one is linear discriminant analysis and multiple discriminant analysis. Linear discriminant analysis is used where dependent variable consists of two groups or classifications, like for example male versus female or good credit risk versus bad credit risk. So there are only two groups or two categories. So in case of two categories of dependent variable, the linear discriminant analysis is used, and in case of multiple regression analysis, this is used where three or more classifications are there for naturally occurring groups, such as in our last example in which the researcher wants to investigate the variables which eat the difference between variables to which eat fruits, and we take three dependent variables, or like this such as low, medium or high risk. Now there are three categories: low, medium or high risk. So in case of three variables, the multiple discriminant analysis is used, and in case of two variables, the linear discriminant analysis is used. And the steps used in discriminant analysis is as follows. First one is estimate regression coefficient, then define regression equation, which is the discriminant function, and then access the fit of the regression equation to the data, access the ability of the regression equation to correctly classify observations, the assess of relative importance of predictor variables. The discriminant analysis is also called ANOVA, multiple analysis of variance. So it is similar to regression or ANOVA, but there is a key difference which we discuss in the next slides of our presentation. Now there are also few assumptions of discriminant analysis. What are these? First one is multivariate normality. So the multiple variables should be normal and the data values are from a normal distribution, and there is also equality of variance and covariance within the groups. The covariance matrix within each group should also be equal, and low multicollinearity of the variables. Now the uses of discriminant analysis. First one is in case of product research. In case of product research, the discriminant analysis distinguish between heavy, medium and light users of a product in terms of their consumption habits and lifestyles. And it is also helpful in perception or image research, because it also distinguishes between customers who exhibit favorable perceptions of a store or a company, or those who do not show a favorable perception. So it distinguish or discriminate between the variables. Advertising, it is also helpful in advertising research, because it identify how market segment different in media consumption habits, how one market segment is different from the other market segment in case of media consumption habits. And it is also helpful in direct marketing, because it identify the characteristics of consumers who will respond to a direct marketing campaign or those who will not. Now, what is the difference between regression analysis and discriminant analysis? The main difference between the discriminant analysis and the regression analysis is that the use of categorical variables as dependent variable, because discriminant analysis in discriminant analysis dependent variable must be categorical, but in case of regression analysis or ANOVA analysis, must be the dependent variable must be continuous variable, not categorical. So it is the main difference between discriminant analysis and regression analysis. And also the two group discriminant analysis is just like standard multiple regression analysis, not a simple regression analysis. It is like multiple regression analysis or multiple variance of ANOVA. So multiple ANOVA or multiple regression analysis is similar to discriminant analysis. So thanks for listening. This is my presentation.